Hi guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF. Today we're on to part 3 of our 6.5 by 8.5 mini album tutorial. I've had some technical difficulties with my phone not staying charged very long when I'm recording, so I apologize for having to cut it up into 3 parts, but I think the videos will load faster up onto YouTube this way, and it's into sections, so you can work on it a little bit at a time if need be. In part 1, we made our cover, worked on the hinges, and we made our 3 signature pages. In part 2, we added all of our pockets and flips and interactions, and we started to mat the paper. My process is that I go through and mat all the big areas first, and then I do a second pass through to do like the inside covers and the smaller areas. So it makes sense when you're trying to get the most out of your paper collection. I mentioned it in the previous 2 videos, but we're using just one 12-piece 12 by 12 double-sided collection kit from Echo Park to do the whole album, with just a little bit of supplementing on with some solid color cardstock. But it dawned on me last night that we're cutting these papers down to 12 by 8 and then cutting it in half, so we have 24 6 by 8 papers essentially. And so this album will work perfectly for 6 by 8 paper pads too. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me before, but that's what I realized. So we're going to make our second pass through in this album and finish matting it today. It is the next day. I did both part 1 and part 2 yesterday, but my battery died, and to have my microphone plugged into my phone, I can't charge it. So here we are. I did a little bit of planning. I organized what I have left in paper. I have 2 pieces of 12 by 12 left. I have this piece that has the 4 by 4 cut aparts on the back. I did use one. I did cut this last row off because this happens to be 8 inches, and so I was able to use one of the 4 by 4 cut aparts for the cover. So now I have this 8 by 12 left. I have set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 4 by 12 pieces. I have 2 of the 6 by 8s, and I have the 6 by 4 that I have a perfect place for. And I did a little bit of planning, so this video might go a little bit faster. So for the parts that I've planned out, let's go ahead and do those first, and then we will do our thinking. So for this pocket, I had originally said that you need a piece that is 6 by 5, because you don't need a whole piece of 6 by 8 to go down into the pocket. Nobody's going to see that anyways, but this 6 by 4 fits here perfectly, and nobody's going to notice that the paper doesn't go all the way down. So we're going to go ahead and glue this here. I said I did a little bit of planning, and we'll go through through it from the beginning once I put these planned pieces in. So if you cut your paper the same way I did, you should have the 6x4 right here. For the this is page 4, and then let's see, for page 6, the inside of this, you should have a 6x8 that will fit perfectly there. I like to glue the around the edges so that the paper stays down well, and then I just put some glue in the middle, and we're going to lay this down, making sure to not cover the bending lines, the score lines. Make sure it's straight as you can get it, and press down like so. I realized that one of my 4x12s will work perfect here, so we'll come back to that. I'm going to put this waterfall inside. Oh no. Okay. Wait. It's not too late. It's not too late. I'm taking this up because I just realized we're going to put our... I hate when I do that. I just realized we got to put our waterfall on here first. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Now, you want to make sure you line it up in the center. You're going to flip up this part here, and you're going to take your 5 1/4 by 1 1/4 piece and about 3/4 up on the here. Let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to about 3/4 or just a quarter from the bottom of the page. You're going to place your paper here, but we need to map this first. Let's see, this is page 6, so what do we have that we can use here? How about just this pink piece? I think that'll be fine. I'm gonna cut it down real quick to 1 by 5. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place this morning. I dropped my piece of paper. Okay, picked it up. I'm just gonna add some glue here and map this little piece, the 5 1/4 by 1 1/4, like so. I just got glue everywhere. Good job, Bethany. It's okay, that's what the adhesive eraser is for. And like I said, we're going to place this on the paper about a quarter of the way from the bottom. And we're going to put glue just on the very edges. Now this is the part that I told you it's optional to have brads. That's why I didn't glue this down to the, that's why I took it back up off the paper. Okay, I'm lining this up to the middle. Look, I'm getting glue everywhere. But like I said, once it's completely dry, I'll use my adhesive eraser and it'll be fine. So I placed that down, and the optional, now the glue does typically hold well, but for that extra security, I use these tiny little brads that I get from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use my pokey tool to just right here on the edge and about in the middle, I'm going to poke a hole through all the way through to the back of the paper, and I'm going to insert my brad. These brads provide that extra security. So when people are pulling, oh my gosh, I just ripped the paper. So when people are pulling up and down on the waterfall, it holds it in and you don't have to worry about it slipping out or falling off. Oh my gosh. Can I find another gold one? This one's all bent. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. And then you want to eyeball the center on this side and place, again, poke a hole. Try not to do what I did and tear your paper with the brad. It's not a very thick pokey tool, so I gotta push the brad through too. Okay, let me see if I got a thicker one. Yeah, that's better. Make it a little bigger. And then I can put my brad through. And that is not a gold one. I'm sorry. It's got to match. I'm selling this album. Oh my gosh. Struggle Bus City. You guys ever have those crafty days where just everything is a struggle? Yeah. That's it for me today. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to open the brad in the back and secure it with some double-sided tape. Like so. Take the back off. And now, guys, we can glue this onto our page number 6. So I'm glad at least I realized what I did before it was too late to pull it up. I don't recommend doing that, but it's Struggle City today. Struggle Bus. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to take our waterfall mechanism and slide it right inside the sleeve. Now you're going to line it up to the center like that. You're going to hold the very bottom piece with your finger while you flip the rest of it up, and you're going to add glue right here to the middle of your belt. And then you just take it and lay it down. Make sure it's as straight as you can get it and press down. Once that's dry, it will be a working pull down waterfall mechanism. I'm not going to pull it just yet because, like I said, it's not dry and we don't want to mess it up. So there's that. We're going to use one of the 4x12s here. I think I'm going to just go for the rainbows because it kind of goes with the clouds, right? And then we'll use the other half up here with some matting tape, with some solid color cardstock behind it. So that is what we will do. Yeah, because we have purple and the bows there. Okay. So I'm going to cut this paper down to 6x4. And then I'm going to trim this just to 3 5/8. So 3 5/8. And that fits there perfectly. I need to round the corners though. Now you can't see what I'm doing, but I have to do the corner rounder over the trash can. So that's not going to be on camera. But I think you've seen it before. You know how to round a corner, is my guess. Okay, I'll lay that down there. Line it up a little better than what I did. Sorry, I'm out of frame. Okay, there's that one. And now let's decide how we're going to use this up here. We could do it in the middle and just have the cardstock on the top and bottom. We could slide it up here or slide it down there, but I'm thinking I like it in the middle. So let's see. What do you guys think? The solid color cardstock or the polka dots? I think I like the polka dots. So let's cut this branding strip off. And like I had mentioned in one of the previous videos, I just happened to find this pack of dots and stripes collection kit in my stash. I forgot I had it, but you know, it is actually from Echo Park, so I thought, well, shoot, the colors should match pretty well then, and I think especially this pink does. Okay, so there's that. We're gonna cut it to 5 3/8. 5 3/8 by 6. So if you don't have something like this, some coordinating, you know, just plain color cardstock will work fine to layer behind the pattern paper that we're going to put in the middle. You can see that, and then like so. And then like I said, and when people put photos there, you really can't. It looks cute. It looks even cuter with it all put together like that. Okay, looks like this needs to be trimmed just a tiny bit, so I'm gonna take the smallest little 1/8 of an inch off. Look, and now it doesn't want to line up. But if I just yeah. Sorry, I'm really like kind of OCD about it lining up properly. And there we go. That's a little better. Okay. Ooh, what about this side? Does that look better? I think that looks even better. So we'll use the pink with lighter pink dots instead of the white dots. I'm going to take the back side of our tape off. Line that up straight. And then we're going to glue this one down. Oh my gosh, it's a little bit longer. I told you I can't help it. I can't help it. I like them to be the same size. There. That's as good as it's gonna get, I believe. Make sure you have about the same amount on the top and on the bottom. Like so. And there we have it. Once there's a photo there, it's going to look even better as the background. And we got the bottom there matted. We'll come back to this because a lot of our our 4x12s and 4x6 pieces are going to be perfect for the waterfall. Let's see, what else did I plan out? Because we got a little sidetracked there with the waterfall. Page 5, which is this one. Because page 4 has the plaid on it. So I was thinking we're going to do some paper piecing on these pieces back here. I'm going to make sure the plaid is there on the sides and can be seen. And then we will paper piece the rest of it. And we have this 12x8 here that we need to use. I think I'm gonna do the paper piecing with it, as long as it doesn't clash too bad. I hope you guys don't mind process videos like this, because Lord knows I'm new at this and not the greatest. I don't know, guys. What do you think? There is a little bit of yellow in here, so I think it'll work just fine. I'm going to cut this down to 5 7/8. Look, that glue had glue on the back of that paper and it stuck to my trimmer. And then we will cut this one down to 5 7/8. And we want to make sure that we cover our magnets with this piece. So let's do let me get my ruler and just double check. We'll do 4.5 to be on the safe side. And because we're going to do the other side that is this exact same size, I'm going to go ahead and cut another 4.5 out of this. And then I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this just to lay there on the side. And 2 for the other side. And take the backing of our tape off. Where did my glue go? There it is. Okay. Just line the edges with glue. Put some in the middle. And just remember to cut this big enough to cover your magnets so that there's not too much layering over them. Let's see. This will cover it just a little bit. Hopefully it'll still be fine. Look at that side. No, it doesn't. It doesn't match the page 4. Okay. And we line that up as good as we can get it. There's that. And then on this side, I'm mainly like I said, the first and second pass through, I go through and I try to cover with the designer paper, you know, the elements that people are gonna see, just doing a quick flip through first, you know, the things that really stand out. So, oh, I almost put this down wrong. Okay, so we're putting it on the inside so that the plaid is here on the edge, and that's what you see when this is folded over, like that. So, here's this one. Glue that down. Stay up glue. Okay. There we go. I'm going to call it good enough. And then what are we going to put here? 4 7/8 by 5 7/8. We need a piece to go there. We have the flowers, but that's too much of the flowers, I think. We have our polka dots, or, you know, solid color cardstock. Ooh, I know. I planned this part out. So we're gonna put these hearts here. So we're gonna cut it to 5 7/8 by 4 7/8, which I gotta do, let's see, 5 here, and then take 1/8 of an inch off over here, because this is my cheap paper trimmer from Hobby Lobby. And if you can see here, the 4 3/4 and 4 7/8 aren't marked on here, so I have to use the other side to take off just a little bit when I need those measurements. Oh, I didn't round the corners. I got around the corners on this one. So, line that up straight. Okay. Now, because that, I like my accordions to be matchy too, so because we put the hearts there, we're going to put the hearts here too. So 4 7/8. I use this paper trimmer because I got tired. I go through blades like it's nobody's business, and I got tired of paying for the ones from We Are Memory Keepers. They're like $5 a pop and expensive. So here we go with this one. And we will come back and finish these, because like I said, they're the parts that nobody's going to see right away. Let's see, what else do we need to do? We still need to cover the insides here. I'm getting rid of some of my sticky notes. Let's see. I probably should have cut this long ways. but I didn't. So here we go. We have this 12 by 12 left. But let's see. I'm trying to think. Sorry. Okay. We do need these to be matchy, so we're going to go ahead and use this last full 12 by 12, and we're going to cut it down to 8. Four and 7/8. I need to round my corners here and here. And remove the back of the tape. Add our adhesive. And line her up. There's that one. I haven't been using my bone folder, have I? There we go. Perfect. Take the tape off. Add the glue. And line it up. Again, guys, I apologize for being such a hot mess today. I'm just ready to get this tutorial done with and be able to post it. Okay, we have page 1, page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, another part we need to worry about are the inside flaps on the front and back cover. I think what I will do is use my dot paper again, but I'm going to also use some of my scraps to line the just add a little bit of detail there, and it won't be so plain. So I do have 2 of these, so if I need to, we can cut into that one. So we got 8, barely in frame, 8 by 4 and 3/8. Now, the front and back covers certainly don't have to be matchy, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I might use the white dots here. Yeah. Let's bring this guy in. Can you see I'm a messy crafter? I really am. Everything just is all over my desk. But when I get into it, I get into it. Okay. Lay that down, press it down. And I think I am gonna, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut into that other pink polka dot paper. Anytime I'm using the polka dot paper, guys, if you don't have that, then it's perfectly okay to use the solid color cardstock, because like I said, we're going to use some of our scraps to make it a little more pretty, a little prettier and detailed and whatnot. So let's cut this to 8. I'm just realizing how dirty my nails are. It's from all the crafting. I put together a folio last night when my phone died and I couldn't work on this. 4 3/8 right there. And I'm going to round the corners. Remove the back of our tape. Add our glue. I know I repeat myself a lot, but I mean, I guess it's better than not talking. And I don't know what else to say aside from just telling you what I'm doing, even though you can see it. I don't know. That's what other people do when I watch tutorials. So there you have it. There's the inside of our front and back cover flips. Now we're going to go through and do all of the smaller areas in our pages. You can set that aside. This is going to be perfect for one of our 4x12s. And I think I had decided on the plaid. I think. Yeah. We're going to do the plaid. Or the flowers. Let's do the flowers. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down. It's already at 4, but it just needs to be at 3 7/8. Ooh, I almost cut that wrong. 3 7/8. And then 4 7/8. Oh, sorry, I knocked that. 5 and 4 7/8. I'm going to round our corners. Like I said, rounding the corners is certainly is optional. I think it looks cute in a baby book, but otherwise I really don't. I don't round corners. It adds a lot more time to doing a project. I didn't realize how much more it added. Okay, so there's that one, and then we need to cover this guy too. No, it's that ugly green. I'm not going to use that on the back. I'm looking through my scrap pieces, seeing what I have that's already cut down small like that. And I don't, let's see. I have this one. We haven't used this pattern at all, so I think I'll throw that in there. Or the plaid matches better. I don't know what to do, guys. I get so indecisive sometimes. 3 7/8. and 4 7/8. Around my corners. This time on the right. Take the tape off. Yeah, I'm gonna use the plaid. It's matchier. And while I do like this beautiful like blue-green color with the white florals, it just kind of doesn't go with the rest of the page scheme. Okay, so there's page 1 all done. We got page 2 and page 3 done. Page 4, we just have the inside of this left to do. We have our polka dots, and we have, what do we have on the front here? The florals. Maybe we just continue the florals inside with the polka dots. I think so. Okay. And I don't remember the measurements of it, and I didn't write it on the inside. So let me measure real quick. It's 5 by 5 7/8. 5 7/8 by 5. Let me round these corners at the top. I'm going to remove the back of the tape. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not talking again. Now I'm just getting really concentrated on what I'm doing. Okay, so there are our polka dots, and then we're going to take this guy and we're going to put it in the middle like so. We're going to cut him down to, what did I say it was? 5 7/8. Yes, 5 7/8. I'm using this paper because it's really one of the only ones that is non-directional. And I mean, the plaid's non-directional, but all the rest of the 4 by 12s, you know, have a direction to them that it's going across. So we'll save those for our waterfall and possibly the accordion. The accordion folds. There we go. Nope, it's not perfect. You're wanting to line it up with the top and bottom, but you also want the same amount of paper showing on either side, or as close as you can get it. Like that. Close enough, right? It's a little bigger on here, but nobody's going to notice once there's a photo there. Okay, there is page 4 done. Page 5. We have 4 more places to mat. I'm going to take a look at this other book and see what I did in here. I can't quite remember. Here we go. So I did do that where I did the solid color cardstock and just a little bit of pattern paper on the edge. And then I did some paper piecing on that side too. And then same. Okay. I do like pink and yellow together. This yellow is a little iffy for me, but you know. Okay. I don't think. I think I'm going to make this a little easier on myself because I could cover one whole one with this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get out my blue polka dot paper. Again, you can just use solid color cardstock. Cut the branding strip off. We're going to do 5 7/8. By 4 7/8. Okay. I like the blue with the lighter blue dots. It's a little softer. And I didn't round my corners. Or take off my tape before I glued. I'm a mess, guys. I am a mess today. But we all have days like this, right? It's all good. Usually I would just choose not to craft on days like this, but I had a tutorial to finish. So here we go, rounding the corners before we glue, removing the back of the tape before we glue. And now we just have these spaces here to cover. Since it is on the back of the same on this side, I think I might just go ahead and because it's gonna work. I'm gonna cut this long ways down to 5 7/8. Like if you can make something easier on yourself, why not do it, you know? 5 3/8. And 5 3/8. So if you're using solid color cardstock, I'm going to use the white dots on this side. If you're using the solid color cardstock, it's real easy just to find one of your scraps and layer it on top on one side, on one of the sides, on one of the bottoms, or on top and bottom, and on both sides. I showed you the example in my other book. It's pretty easy to do. Like if this was solid color cardstock, I would just get one of my scraps and line this side so that it wasn't all plain. I would maybe cut this down to 2 inches so it had a nice little border look and be done with it. In fact, I might come back and do that because I want to use as much as this. I want to use up as many of the scraps as I can. Okay, so now we are on our last page and we need to cover our waterfall. And excuse me a minute, I am going to take off my sweats. You might hear the microphone, as I do so, but I'm getting hot. Okay. Clean up some of these little scrappies off my desk. Okay, we still have, look at this, I still have, of course these don't count, right, because it's not part of the collection kit, but just 2 other pieces of solid color cardstock if you were using that. I have all these little scrappies here that you could line with your solid color cardstock. So because some of these are already cut to 4x4, well, this one's a little too small, so I'm not going to do that, but these are still cut down to 4x12, so I am going to just cut them at, I'm going to cut some 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. I'm only going to mat the fronts because I like to leave the back of it blank so people can add a photo just to the white cardstock, or they can use it to journal. I always think it's good to leave it blank, or at least if you want to mat it with a lighter colored cardstock so they can use it for journaling if they want. So there's that one. I'm just going to use a bunch of different ones here so it looks really nice and pretty, and it combines all of the different patterns we used throughout the album. As I'm cutting, I'm also rounding the corners. I believe we need 6 of these, so I'm just cutting them each down to 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Rounding the corners. I hate when they get stuck in there. Okay. I usually like to do one of the patterns and then one of the more solid color pieces, like the pink. They're not solid, but they're like just 2-tone patterns. I like to alternate them. So we'll do bows, and then blue, and then butterflies, and then this pink one. And then we'll do the plaid. And we'll do these hearts. Now you do you use your scraps, you know, because they might be a little different from mine. You use yours the best way you can. Like I said, go through and do the bigger areas first, and then the second layer bigger areas, like the inside of flaps, and then do the pockets and the whatchamacallums. Okay, I'm gonna take this out here. Oh no, we already glued it in, so never mind. I should have just glued these down from the get-go. Okay. I hope I didn't just screw up my order. Let's see. Solid, pattern, solid, pattern, solid, pattern. Okay. We're good. And then pull down and add solid. Pull down, pattern. Solid. Pattern. Okay, just like that. Now, we should have matted this guy down here before we glued it in. So I screwed up again. Sorry about that, guys. But I think we can still do it. I'm gonna cut this down to 3 7/8 by 6 7/8. And around my corners for the bottom. Add my adhesive. And just a tip, you never want to mat this shorter than what it actually is, because it will get caught on your piece. Now I'm lifting this up just a little bit so I can make sure that it's going underneath the belt, because we don't want it getting caught on the belt when we're going up and down. That'll straighten out. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so like so, and then we pull down and pull and push up. And there is our waterfall. Okay, guys, now that everything is matted, we can go ahead and put our pages in our book. Are you ready to get this over with as much as I am? Yeah? Okay, me too. Okay, now to put these in, what I like to do is to remove the tape from both sides of your hinge. And then you're going to take just a little bit of glue, and at the very edge, the top edge of the hinge, you're going to add a little bit of glue, covering that double-sided tape so that you have more time to get your page on straight. If you don't use the glue to do it, you have one shot and one shot only to make sure it's put on straight. So the glue helps a ton in that situation. Now, you want to put it on, and you want to make sure that keep it away about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of the hinge, because if you put it too close to the gusset, to the bottom of the hinge, your pages are going to get caught when you flip them. I'm going to show you up close so you can get a better idea. You can see that my score mark right there at the bottom of the hinge, there's about 1/8 of an inch. The page is about 1/8 of an inch away from it, so that it does not get caught. Now, I'm going to press down on this side, and then I'm going to flip, and I'm going to press down on this side. Again, on this side, you can see that my page is about 1/8 of an inch away from the score mark. Okay, so there's pages 1 and 2. We're gonna take off our tape on our second hinge. If your tape is too long, just make sure you tuck it over on itself so that it's not sticking out. You're going to add your glue to the double-sided tape, staying at the top of the hinge. Don't go to the bottom of it. Just allowing you more time to get your page on correctly. I'm going to very carefully open up my pocket page on the left and slide it on to the hinge. I started to put it down too far, but I pulled it back. Thank you, glue, for giving me that extra time. I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch away from the score mark on the bottom of the hinge, or the bottom of the hinge, whatever you want to call it. You don't want your page getting caught, then it doesn't flip right. Okay, so I'm pressing down on this side. I'm flipping over and pressing. I'm actually going to open my flap and press down. Like so. Okay, for our third and final hinge, now this page has a lot of thickness to it, so you want to make sure that you're getting the right area, and you're making sure that page 5 is in the front and page 6 is in the back, and you want to make sure that you're opening the right opening, because there's lots of different you don't want to like accidentally try to glue this to the hinge, so make sure you get your pocket open and carefully slide it on. It should fit just perfectly if you made your hinges at 8 inches like I said in part 1, and your pages are 8 1/8. That leaves just enough room for them to slide on and not have too much wiggle room. Okay, so like I said, this page has a lot of bulk, so be careful when you are putting it on the hinge, and when you're pressing down, make sure you're keeping it 1/8 of an inch away from the gusset. pressing down really well. And there's our back. I'm going to open this up and go like this. So, and then if you see, the reason that we put our tape at the very top of the hinge is so that when you put your pocket on and you leave that 1/8 inch here so it doesn't get caught, that tape's not showing here in this edge, if that makes sense. Okay, and there we have it, guys. It's our 6.5 by 8.5 free signature mini album. I still have yet to put the cover on, and what we haven't done is matted our mats. Now, I'm not going to do this with you guys because I think you can figure out how to mat. Okay, so there are 5 mats because there are 5 pockets. Each pocket page gets one, and then your pocket on page 1 gets one here. And then your pocket page 2, like so. Then page 4 gets one right here. Page 3 gets your 5th one. Okay. Like I showed you in this album, just to remind you, I used solid color cardstock on them, and then I just lined them with some scraps. So I paper pieced it together. I added some stickers from the sticker sheet and called it a day. Any scraps you have left, just use that plus your solid color cardstock to cover just one side of your mat. You can cover both sides, but I like to leave it either white or with a really light color cardstock on the back so that people can use it either for photos or for journaling, whatever they want. And so I'm not going to mat the mats with you. That's a tongue twister, or a mouthful anyways. But I will go ahead and do our cover. I had prepped this. The first thing I do is pick out the page I'm going to use for my covers. I try to pick, I'll always go for a floral, and especially if it's non-directional. That way I cut the paper 12 by 8, and then I used just that bottom 4 by 12 to do the spine, and it worked out perfect. On the other album, I had a directional paper, and I ended up having to use a different paper on the spine, which wasn't bad. I mean, it coordinated with the collection and everything, but I do like to have the same pattern on front, back, and spine if possible. I cut this out. I sewed my paper, and then I matted it onto this gold foil. When you're gluing your covers on, you want to make sure you get the very edges with glue, because that's the most important part, and make sure it sticks down. Okay. So here goes the front cover. Just gonna line it up as straight as we can. Make sure there's an even amount of white behind the gold foil all the way around. I'm getting glue on my gold foil, but I will clean that up, no worries. I'll also go through with my adhesive eraser, and anywhere that I was messy with the glue, I will erase. Just make sure that if you do that, make sure the glue is completely dry before you try to erase it. Otherwise, it will tear up your paper. I've learned that the hard way. So I'm just making sure I press down really good here on the cover. I'm going to flip this over and do the spine. Ooh, my stomach just made a gurgling noise. I hope you guys didn't hear that. But sorry if you did. Okay, we're gonna make sure we line up the spine well, the spine piece well. We want the same amount of white on all four sides, if possible. That looks pretty good to me, at least I hope so. And I'm just gonna press down, especially on those corners. Make sure the corners are down. And lastly, we will put this on the back. Well, not lastly, we still got to put our little cover decoration on. My stitching is started and stopped down here, so I'm going to put it at the bottom so it's not as noticeable if it's at the bottom than if it's at the top. Okay, I'm trying to line this up so we have the same amount of white all the way around. Or as close as we can get it. Making sure it's on straight. As straight as I can get it. That's why I always say, you know what? It's not perfect, it's handmade. Nothing handmade is ever gonna be super 100% perfect. So that's my disclaimer that I live by. Okay, there we go. And she's looking beautiful. Okay, we're going to I'm going to take this gold piece that I have, this piece of chipboard. I'm going to glue my 4x4 cut apart to it. My chipboard's cut at 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So it's just an incy bit smaller. And I like to do this because the chipboard gives it some dimension and it's more solid than if you use foam tape. So you line that up just right so you can't see the chipboard. And then we're going to mat it here onto the gold foil. Like so. The gold foil, I believe, is cut at 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So it's just an incy little bit of gold sticking out around it. And gives it a nice touch, I think. Wow. Okay, line it up there, girl. Line it up. And I'm going to press down with my bone folder. And I'm going to add this to the cover. I'm going to try to wipe away some of this glue that seeped out before I glue it down to the cover. There we go. Nope. Sorry. I just, why work so hard on an album if the very cover detail isn't going to be perfect? Okay. Art glitter glue dries clear, but on gold foil you can still see it. You can see here on the edge right here and here. I'm going to have to go in with my adhesive eraser once it's all dry. Now I'm not going to put this in the exact center. I'm going to put it in the top center think that looks good, about like that. And then I'm going to press down. Some people like to put a lot of dimension on the front of their albums, but then they get really hard to store. Oh my god, I forgot our seam binding. And it's too late. Okay, if you're going to use seam binding, make sure that you put it down before you glue your cover on. I'm so sorry I forgot that detail. Like I said in the beginning, though, you really don't need it. It does stay relatively flat and closed all on its own, and the seam binding was just a little extra added detail. So again, I'm so sorry if you didn't add it before you glued your cover down. Hopefully you'll watch this part of the video before you do that. But we're all done now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me through my first long tutorial, 3 parts, and I thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.